Hello, and thanks for clicking on this video. My name is Zach, and I'm a lifelong reader and lover of all things science fiction, fantasy, comics, manga, personal development, and everything in between. Today, I wanted to share with you, the viewer, my thoughts and a quick review of Jason Pargin's I'm Starting to Worry About This Black Box of Doom. So this book I saw on like a new novel debut list or new releases for the month. Sounded super interesting. I thought, hey, I'll give it a try. Yes, I normally kind of gravitate to science fiction fantasy, and this has a bit of, it's fiction, but it's like out there fiction. So I was like, this sounds like it could be up my alley. I've never read this author before. Put it on a hold and delved into it. So I finished it last weekend, and I kind of loved it, but kind of didn't. So this is another review where I'm very 50-50 on whether I actually enjoyed it. It has a lot of strong points. It has a few negatives, and I can see how, as an author, it might not work for everyone. It sort of worked for me, so that's kind of my review in a nutshell. So what didn't work in the plot in general is that the book, it's a road trip kind of heist adventure, cross-country adventure. It's, probably the back of the book gives a better description of this, but this is my first work by the author, who you may know from the movie John Dies at the End, and surprisingly reading about the author afterwards. He was the editor of crack.com, so it has like a style and a voice that's very distinct, and the writing itself I adored. So as a writer, I'm enthusiastic about his work. I think it's a well-written, speaks to me as an older millennial, the type of writing, the humor, the style. But to talk about the negatives before I get to other positives, some of the negatives were the characters. So if you've read this, you probably know what I'm going to say, but the characters are very on the nose in the message that they're trying to get across. So it's very clear sometimes what the author is trying to say via our characters, where you have your main character who is not to be too stereotypical, but sort of shut in. He's a Twitch streamer and has certain kind of misogynist views towards women in society due to his trauma, of course, as you kind of can guess as you start learning about the character. And he's played off by the female lead, who acts as the foil, as sort of the voice of reason, who is kind of constantly lecturing our main character on why his views are so bad, and she's showing him kind of the error in his ways and trying to not necessarily change him, but just to get through the ordeal together that they're on this adventure, through that kind of lens and plot device, but to change his views and kind of uncover what is making that character. And that's where, again, the negative, because it was kind of so maybe obvious as a reader of kind of what the author was trying to say, the points he was trying to make through the use of his characters to illustrate these points, and maybe the author's views on society and what's wrong with society as a whole. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it, but it wasn't just like a straightforward, here's a fun heist novel, road trip adventure with some wacky hijinks that happen, and we are unraveling a mystery, but at the same time, you're getting this sort of philosophical debate on what's everything wrong with society at the moment. So that was kind of a negative, because it was a little bit heavy-handed in the message, I guess, through the characters. But some of the positives, to speak positive, is that the general writing style and the plot was just fun. So the immediate comparison that I had while reading / listening to this novel was a John Scalzi novel, because the novel's written almost like a movie or a TV series that, in my mind, like the trope of a movie in your mind as I'm listening to this audiobook, reading the book, it's fast paced like a movie or series that the book was written to be translated into the screen. So it's very kind of episodic that they move from one event to the other. I mean, they're on a road trip, so they do have a journey and there's a path that they're following, but they kind of resolve one conflict, move to the next one. It's kind of like an episode to episode basis. So they go from conflict to conflict as they're on this journey. moving the titular black box of doom across the country, and they're encountering obstacles to their journey along the way. And what I enjoyed, not just the writing style, which I thought was fun and relevant. So a lot of the references, being a book that came out in 2024, are very relevant. As mentioned, the main character is a Twitch streamer. So if you're chronically online like me, maybe that's why I resonated too much with some of the characters and some of the thoughts and ideas and fun that the author is poking at people that are chronically online. That it's very relevant in the current meta of the world and online culture. And the plot was structured in a way, as I guess all good plots should be, that there are hints dropped earlier in the novel that pay off later in the novel. And maybe in hindsight, if I was paying more attention or being more critical of my reading, I would have been like, aha, of course that character is later that character and related to this, and that was all connected and interconnected, but I didn't really see it. So kudos to the writer. The writing was great, because when some of the twists came and it was like, man, that makes total sense, and how did I not see it before? So it's a sign of a great, well-written novel, and I thought it was a lot of fun to get those reveals and kind of slowly piece together all these mysteries / lore drops / foreshadowing and how it all comes together. On that note of things coming together, I guess another negative, even though I was trying to end on a positive note, was sort of the metaphor of this black box of doom. So it's kind of like, speaking of online culture, the meme of, hey, they said the thing. I think it was a Family Guy reference, right? Or another show where they said the thing. So they say the title. And of course, the title is kind of is it a double entendre or a double meaning, because it's the black box of doom that is the box that they're literally carrying in their car on this road trip. But the second meaning is the black box of doom, meaning our phone in our hand. And the characters call this out. So again, it's that heavy-handed kind of philosophy of the book, that is the title referring to the black box of doom that could be a bomb or a nuclear weapon or whatever is actually in the cargo of the car, or is the doom that we should be worrying about this online influence. And obviously I think it's one of those things where at the end the author is trying to make the point that what's causing the characters so much pain isn't necessarily the bomb and all the physical things that are happening, but it's the mental anguish that they're getting as characters from being chronically online. And it's the black box of doom that they should be worrying about is the phone, not the bomb. So there is a message, there's a meaning, and if you didn't get that, that's what I took from it. I thought it was, again, well done overall. Yeah, it was, because it was just fun. There's a lot going on. There was those fun moments. It's just a fun adventure. It's fast paced. It moves at a kind of rapid pace. There's a lot of things happening. It's set piece to set piece to set piece, but it doesn't feel like artificially manufactured. It just flows as they're on this road trip and uncovering things. So I just had a great time. I didn't try to overanalyze it too much, and just enjoyed the ride, enjoyed my journey across America, carrying this black box of doom that we definitely should be worrying about, but also the black box of doom in our hands. So if I had to give this a rating to wrap up this review of Jason Pargin's I'm Starting to Worry About This Black Box of Doom, it's a solid 4 out of 5 for me, because it was just fun. It's a great read, and I'm excited to try some other stuff from the author. I thought the book was fun and worth my time. So thanks for watching this review, and have a great day.